Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. In today's video, we have some tentative skills for both Gwyneth and Hildwyn here. Now, I have to give the massive shout out to this. I got this from the AFK crowdsource server, which looks like they got it from the Majestic Floofs server. I don't know how all this Discord linking stuff works, but massive shout out to everyone that was involved in getting this, and also to all of the people who were DMing me this stuff last night as well. So let's go through it. Let's take a look at their skills. Now, to my understanding, I think these two are going to be kind of like awakened characters, but like awakened dragon characters. Not exactly sure, but let's just look through the abilities and get a feel, because, you know, you can get an idea. If these guys, I know power creep's always a thing that's an issue, but if these guys aren't OP, I'll be kind of pissed because I want Gwyneth to be OP. It's just the way, they're the coolest looking characters in the game, full stop. They're bar none. Like, I don't care. Any of my other favorite characters in the past, they all get trumped by these characters because they turn into dragons, guys. I'm a very simple man. Have a bow, have a pet, or turn into something that's cool, and I am happy. And dragons are number one cool thing. The only thing that would make Gwyneth cooler is if she turned into a dragon and had summonable dragons. That would probably be the only thing that would be cooler if she had summonable dragons. But she's got the bow, she looks cool as hell, and she transforms into a dragon. You can't ask much more. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm just overexcited about this stuff. We're going to look at the skills and see what you guys think. Now, as always with this kind of stuff, none of the numbers are in here, so we will go through it once they drop in the game, but let's just get an idea for how they work. So, Crystal Breath. This, I believe, is the ultimate. Gwyneth shifts forms. So cool. Knocking down surrounding enemies and dealing damage for X% of her attack. In Scale Manifest, she flies over the friendly half of the battlefield, unleashing a fiery breath that deals X amount of hits of dragon speak damage for X% of her attack rating, and triggers the crystallization storm that... So I'm not sure if this when it says the allied side of the battlefield, I don't know if that's wrong. The friendly half, because is she damaging only enemies on her half? I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. That maybe there's a typo or a miscommunication that I'm not understanding there. Crystallization storm that emanates from the center of the battlefield and crystallizes all enemies. While crystallized, or maybe she just flies over and then shoots the whole battlefield. While crystallized, enemies are immobilized and their haste is reduced by X points for X seconds. During the crystallization storm, crystals cover the battlefield, slowing the movement speed of all entities, not enemies, entities on this one. The previous one was all enemies, but this one's all entities, meaning everyone, even yours, by X%. Enemies that touch the crystals erupt them, inflicting damage equal to X% of her attack rating on any nearby enemies and crystallizing them. Each subsequent crystallization storm resets the crystals and increases the damage dealt by their eruptions by X%. Only one hero in your formation can shift forms at any one time. So I'm tipping all the dragon characters have their shifting forms, but you can't OP it with all of them. Gwyneth gains X energy at the start of battle. This is going to be a big one, how much energy she actually starts the battle with. And then level 3, after triggering a calamity for X seconds afterwards, the normal attacks of allies deal additional damage for X% of Gwyneth's attack rating and crystallizes enemies. This sounds really kind of cracked in my opinion. We'll have to wait and see. We did get old mate Druid, who with his signature item buffs basic attack, so I think that's going to be a dead set synergy. It sounds like swirling enemies, like with something like Queen or something like Chicken, or something like what's her face, I can't remember her name, but I feel like the swirling enemies to make them proc these things may be a thing. I don't know exactly how this is going to work, but it sounds pretty cool. Moving on to the next one. Suppressing fire. Gwyneth's normal attacks become 2-hit combos that prioritize the same enemy. Each arrow inflicts damage for X% of her attack rating upon impact. Upon impact, the arrows explode, dealing crippling jets for X% of her attack rating to nearby enemies and stunning them for X seconds. This is kind of like, you know, old school Gwyneth with her lightning arrows where it does AoE and then it like stuns. So I'm assuming it's going to be like a hit stun, like a really short stun because it's based on her normal attacks. So we'll have to wait and see. But I do like the way with this, like they are keeping true to like what Gwyneth was with her basic attack focus. While Gwyneth's haste or attack speed won't affect her attack frequency or focusing time, they do enhance her attack rating. Every point of haste increases her attack rating, while each point of attack speed also increases it by X%. Damage dealt with each arrow increase to X%. Each increase for every point. Okay, it just gets, you get number increases for the skill ups. All right, moving on from that. Was my head covering that? I do apologize if it was. Shattering arrows triggers every X seconds, transforming normal attacks into shattering arrows. Gwyneth focuses and fires arrows that pierce enemies, knocking them back along the way and dealing damage for X% of her attack rating. If an arrow passes through any crystal, it detonates the nearest crystal, supercharging the arrow with crystal power, which enhances its impact and causes enemies to become crystallized. Dude, there's this, like, I feel like there's so much crystallization going on. Like, as soon as she ults, like, shit's gonna be going down. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And what I'm not sure with these two skills, because they both say normal attacks become and triggers transforms normal attacks. So does that mean it becomes this, but it also has the effect of the double tap on this? I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. Kind of like she can have flaming lightning arrows in the standard Gwyneth. Not too sure. Damage increase. Each time shattering arrows hits an enemy, the cooldown time is reduced. That's cool. Each time shattering arrows hits an enemy, her normal attack damage is increased for the following seconds. Can be stacked up. Cool. Just stacking damage. All right. Next one. Let's go over here. Let me get my head out of the way. Realm of Absolution. Passive. When Gwyneth receives damage from intelligence-based enemies, she becomes immune to that damage. That's just crazy. And for the following okay, so it's not permanent immunity. Damage from intelligence-based enemies is reduced by X%. This effect can be triggered up to X times every X seconds. Gwyneth creates a realm of absolution around her, reducing damage from intelligence-based enemies to all allies within the realm by X%. Cool. Additionally, reduces damage of intelligence-based enemies dealt to ally. Okay, increases number, reduces the interval for triggering it. She also gains immunity to damage reduction and damage reduction while non-intelligence-based enemies within the realm deal damage to her. So that's pretty good. Like a ton of damage reduction. We'll have to see numbers on that one to see how good it is. Then we have Dragon's Eye, which is the signature item. I'm not sure. Is that going to be upgrade? I don't know. Maybe maybe it's not like Awakened where they're tied in, but let's see. Signature item 10. Signature item 0. Arrows fired by suppressing fire can also detonate crystals and be imbued with crystal power. That's crazy. That's like kind of what this one does. The far, I always say further. The further Gwyneth is from enemies, the higher the damage dealt by her normal attacks, up to a maximum of X%. Cool. And she does have the knockback effect, so that's going to be handy. When there are no enemies nearby, I think it's meant to be Gwyneth, gains X points. I think it's meant to be Gwyneth. Gains X points of physical pierce and X points of insight and X points of accuracy. Okay. This is kind of cool. I do like this. When a normal attack crits, each point of difference between her crit rating and the target's crit block rate increases the damage. Okay. So when we do crit, we get bonus damage. When there are no enemies nearby, she gains extra amounts of stats. I honestly like this. Depending on how much the stat increase is between the signature item 20 and 40, like it could be a character you only need at 30, but let's face it, if you're getting Gwyneth, you're getting her to 40. All right, let's go into the final one, which is the furniture. Each time an enemy is crystallized, her crit rating increases by X points and her crit damage amplification increase. Dude, we're gonna have some big crits. Enemies in crystallized state take X% increased damage. If it's dragon speak damage, the damage is amplified even more. Cool beans. That is what we are looking at for Gwyneth. Honestly, basic attack, like basic attack queen, like she always was, but with turning into a dragon and crystallizing everyone. I think it's pretty sick. Anyway, that's just me. All right, let's go in. I'm so biased towards Gwyneth. It's not even funny. Wait, can I zoom in on this one a little bit more? All right, let's zoom in on this one. All right. Now we have Hildwyn. When Hildwyn enters the battlefield, he summons 3 flaming magic circles that inherit his attributes. Every X seconds, the magic circles will target the farthest enemy and launch a fireball, dealing damage for X% of his attack rating to enemies along its path. I'm not sure if they have health bars or whatever. I'm not sure if they can be destroyed. I have to wait and see. Active. Hildwyn shifts into his dragon form, summoning tornadoes of draconic flames in the center of the battlefield that deal damage equal to X% of his attack rating to all enemies. Flaming magic circles cause flames to rain down from the sky, dealing dragon speak damage equal. So we got a new form of damage, obviously. We mentioned that in Gwyneth's. Dragon speak damage equal to X% of his attack rating to all enemies. The flames energize the magic circles, reducing their attack frequency by X% and increasing the power of the next X fireballs by X%. A lot of X's. Only one hero can shift form. Okay, we already knew that already. That's pretty cool. Big AoE damage. Draconic flames, this is level 2, pull enemies towards the center of the battlefield. Hey, we got grouping. At the start of battle, Hildwyn changes the atmosphere to... What's that? My VPN needs updating. Apologies, guys. I need to update my VPN. Okay, let's get back into that. At the start of battle, Hildwyn changes the atmosphere to a state of magic disruption, causing all intelligence-based heroes, excluding himself, to be unable to perceive magic, reducing the damage they deal by X%. Additionally, after each time Hildwyn uses his ultimate, damage is further reduced by X%. The energy recovery rate of all enemy intelligence-based heroes will be reduced. So it looks like we're trying to completely cripple intelligence-based heroes with these guys. That's what it's looking like. All right, Flame Snare, passive. Hildwyn's normal attacks will prioritize the enemy with the lowest health. After Hildwyn lands X hits on the target, they will become ensnared in flames. Ensnared enemies are immobilized for X seconds and take damage equal to X% of his attack every second. Damage goes up, duration goes up. That's what we get with skill ups. All right, moving on from that, Magma Slam. Hildwyn gathers power and slams the earth with his staff, causing the ground to collapse beneath the enemy farthest from him. The enemy takes damage equal to X% of his attack rating and is knocked into the air. If you're taking the ground out, wouldn't knock him down. Anyway, let's just not get caught up on that. At the same time, all of the enemy's shields are removed, and they cannot receive another shield for X seconds. The target is stunned for X seconds. After entering the battlefield, he'll prioritize targeting a skill effect on the enemy position directly opposite him, and then when using an active skill, Hildwyn additionally selects the nearest enemy hero as a target for the skill. Okay, so we get double hits. That's pretty insane if I read that right. Arcane Insight, passive. Hildwyn has a profound understanding of all the world's magic. For every strike of damage he takes from enemy heroes, future damage from the same skill will be reduced by X% up to a maximum of X%. Every X seconds, Hildwyn and the ally with the lowest health percentage will gain a shield with X% of Hildwyn's attack rating for X seconds. For the duration of the shield, the damage reduction from this skill will be increased by X%. Within so many seconds of obtaining the shield, Hildwyn is immune to control effects. Handy. Allied heroes with shields will temporarily share Hildwyn's knowledge and gain the damage reduction. Now, is that all shields? I'm not too sure. Have to wait and see. Hildwyn can gain knowledge from the lessons of others. When allied heroes receive damage from enemies, his knowledge increases and the maximum damage reduction of the skill is increased. Okay, we really need to see numbers on stuff like that before we make any assumptions. All right, Incineration, signature item. His normal attack power increases to X% of his attack rating. Okay. X% of the damage healed in normal attacks ignore shields. Okay, we get shield ignoration. He also, ignoration, is that a word? Holy shit, I don't even know. Anyway, let's keep moving on. Let's not get caught up. The power of Hildwyn's normal attacks is increased to X% of the target's max health, up to a maximum of his attack rating. Okay, so we get max health damage. When using a normal attack, he will additionally target the enemy with the smallest angle relative to himself. Additionally, that means we're doing his normal attack plus that normal attack, I think. We really need to see animations for this. For every X normal attacks Hildwyn uses, he will call down Draconic Flames to bombard the target, dealing Dragon Speak damage equal to X% of his attack rating to enemies within range. So that's more AoE damage. My head's kind of covering the 9 furniture, but I'll read it to you guys. It's cool. For every X normal attacks Hildwyn uses, all Draconic Flames will launch a fireball at the target. That's cool. We've got 3 of them on the field. Flaming magic circles can protect Hildwyn. When Hildwyn takes fatal damage, he becomes immune to that strike of damage and teleports to a flaming magic circle, where he absorbs its power to recover full health and become invulnerable and untargetable for X seconds, while the magic circle disappears. So he's got 3 cheat deaths as well. That's pretty cracked when we look at 9 furniture. 9 furniture is going to be a must for this guy. I think they both sound pretty cracked. Let me know what you guys think. That's an early look at their skills. Once again, we should get patch notes tonight and then the patch tomorrow, and I'm pretty excited, guys. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.